Welcome to another episode of Captain Xavier's Loadouts. Today featuring Captain Xavier's ultimate humans vs. zombies loadout, seen here in its heavy configuration. However, instead of starting with the heavy and working our way down, we're going to start with the light and work our way up. So, let's get you out of all that gear. Alright, let's get some gear back on him, starting with some safety equipment. Most HVZs these days require eye protection for all players. Captain Xavier favors a mesh eye pro with a strap to secure it to his head. The mesh ensures that his eye pro does not fog up no matter how much he sweats, and the strap prevents it from getting dislodged at an inopportune time. The next item he's going to put on is a shamag, which is a simple square of fabric folded in half and worn around the neck. This item has several uses. First of all, it protects the back of his neck from the sun, and secondly, it can be used to wick sweat away from his brow. And of course, it's very stylish. The next item he's going to put on is a simple skull cap. This serves the dual purpose of keeping the sweat out of his eyes and making him look like a pirate. Yarr! A slightly more utilitarian head cover is, of course, his boonie cap, which in addition to also keeping the sweat out of his eyes, keeps the sun from burning his nose. Alright, let's talk about loadouts. Contrary to what you might think, you don't actually need a heavy loadout to be successful in HVZ. Svelte and agile players like Brett have proven that you can be perfectly successful in HVZ armed with nothing but a Maverick. But as Captain Xavier is neither svelte nor agile, let's take a look at his light loadout, starting with a belt. This is his heavy modular battle belt. It features a pair of buckles for his modular holster system, a pair of utility loops, a Zarko holster, a dump pouch, a water bottle pouch, and another Zarko holster. For his lightest possible configuration, Captain Xavier goes with dual modded hammer shots. These 6-round hammer shots are perfect for casual games, games with limited starting loadouts, and games in the rain. However, should he want a loadout with a little bit more firepower, he can always go with dual pew-pews, with an escalating variety of magazine options. Now, most HVZs do not allow humans to have melee weapons, and for good reason, but in the rare occasion where they are, the utility loops on this belt can be used as scabbards. Now, if we want to be able to run a proper primary, we're going to need to upgrade from a belt to a vest. Sadly, the source for this particular vest has been lost to time, but it features 6 AA K pouches across the front, 3 half-dart pouches on the chest, a radio pouch to hold the radio that goes to his ear and throat mic, and a camelback for increased hydration. There is also a single-point sling that also has the activation button for the radio. His favored light primary is, of course, going to be a modified Elite Alpha Trooper. His preferred magazines to run with this loadout are going to be Worker 22s. But as some games do have limited starting loadouts, we may have to turn to a blast from the past. N-Strike Flip Clips. Oldie but a goldie. The preferred sidearm with this loadout is still dual hammer shots. The fact that they use the same ammo type does simplify logistics, but what about those HVZs that have super zombies that require special ammo types? Well, that's where the modular nature of these loadouts comes to shine. In one of the AA K pouches on the vest, we can easily fit one of Radioactive's mega hammer shots. The Mega XL Chrono still fits in the 3D printed solid Chronos holster, and we can conveniently fit a Meeker 28 Demolisher rocket launcher in the dump pouch. And that should cover most contingencies. The mag pouches on the vest can conveniently fit sock bombs, extra Mega XL rounds, and half-dart mags should we choose to put a pew-pew on the holster on the belt. Now let's take this to the next level by swapping out the Alpha Trooper, the FDL-3. Now, of course, the FDL-3 will work just fine with flip clips. And it can, of course, be paired with hammer shots and specialty ammo blasters. But obviously, it is preferred to be run with Worker 22s and dual pew-pews. But in the event that an FDL-3 with 13 22-round magazines and 2 pew-pews with 3 magazines each still isn't enough firepower, you can always upgrade to a side-mounted proton pack fed out-of-darts Jupiter with an 800-round capacity. And if all else fails, throw a sock at him. But sometimes, even that just isn't going to be enough. When you're heading into that last stand and you know that the entire horde is going to be massing against you, you are going to need every advantage you can get, and it might be time to call for your
Squire! Coming, sir!
An ammo squire with a bucket full of rival and a rucksack full of mags might well be the only thing standing between you and ignominious defeat.
Right. Now that was entirely too much fun once again. My heavy HVZ loadout is the culmination of about 12 years of tinkering. I started out with a Stampede and a Maverick and a Barricade, and I've just slowly worked up from there. At one point I had Strifes as my sidearms and a rough cut or a barrel break shotgun. I've gone through lots of iterations. And getting it to the point of an FDL-3 with a side-mounted Jupiter fed from a proton pack and a pair of pew-pews, that was a long and rather expensive trail. But the lighter loadouts are also ones that I've used. I've used all these loadouts at HVZs over the years, and they've never let me down. And there's obviously lots and lots of other options, and any HVZ you're going to go to is going to be a little bit different, so you might want to tailor your loadout this way or that way, and that is of course why I made it all so modular, so that I could swap out a holster for something that had, you know, a special ammo type or something like that. So yeah, this was what I've come up with. I'm very pleased with how it's come out. It's stayed more or less how it is now for a couple of years. I haven't traded anything out for a while because it's pretty dialed in, but I'm sure eventually someone will release something that I will swap some part out with, a better Jupiter or better sidearms, or maybe something that will actually be superior to an FDL-3. Who knows? I look forward to seeing what the future brings for HVZ. The game changes, and then we have to change with it, so my loadout will probably change at some point. So, I hope you enjoyed this. The survey for what loadout you want to see next will be in the community tab somewhere on my channel. Go give it a vote, and we'll see what outfit I get all gussied up in next time. Thank you for watching.